Yeah, fellas, welcome to the show. I've been getting some email about the movie Django. There's people keep commenting on that scene where they showed the dimples in the skull. Can you guys understand that was not a real skull? Okay, and there's no such thing as black folks having the submissive area overdeveloped. That's silly, very silly. But there are things you guys need to understand. Why didn't my race rise up and kill people? And the truth is they actually did. Actually, many of the people that were captured didn't make it here. They captured some warriors, and those warriors broke free and sank the entire ships. Entire ships have disappeared trying to transport slaves over here, and they rather commit suicide than go into bondage. Okay? Also, they bought warriors on the plantation. There have been entire plantations that have been killed off that you don't hear about. All right? He who wins the wars writes the history. So Europeans of early parts wrote the history. Like you don't hear about Nat Turner killed every man, woman, and child on a couple of plantations. All right? Then he was betrayed by his own. You don't hear about stuff like that. You don't hear about the wars in Haiti. In fact, I think it's Danny Glover's trying to produce a movie on that. I believe Tariq Nasheed mentioned that. And, Hollywood's not buying that. I just watched a movie coming out of the UK. It was actually a pretty good movie. They had this African descent person with his best friend. And the best friend was a cool white guy, the beard, soft beard growing in. And they made the black guy kind of nerdy. But they switched in the end, though. They did a good job. The black guy's getting all emotional and simpy because his girlfriend was leaving him. He broke off the antenna off the car and getting all crying and shit. And then the cool white guy was helping him along. The cool white guy was fucking his girlfriend. His girlfriend looked like a little fucking bird. No lips, no boobs, skinny little ugly white chick. It's a white chick too. But then they made the guy that was fucking, his best friend's girl behind his back, a coward in the end. They made the black guy brave. So they kind of flipped the script a little bit. Good for Hollywood and good for the Caucasian people who wrote and produced that movie to, flip the script like that. Normally they show African Americans or African descent people in a different light. But you got to understand that, in the history of this country, of my country, the Europeans used to line the pregnant women up, and they'd take one of them, cut their belly open, and let the baby fall out. So they could program fear into the children. So these children, before they even were given birth to, were indoctrinated with the mother's fear right into the fetus. Programmed fear. Okay? If you don't believe me, do your own research. I've done my research. Now, those of you guys who are Caucasian, imagine if a strange race of people came down to Earth and kidnapped you and your family and took you to another planet. And imagine if they took your sister and bashed her brains out after raping her and bashed her brains out. And it looked like you had nowhere to go. You didn't know anything about the geography. You didn't know which way was up, which way was down. Okay, what would you do? And what if they had strange weapons that could kill you from a distance when you were used to fighting up close? They could stand like cowards and kill you from a distance. What would you do? And let's say a couple of generations passed, your family submitted and had kids and they would put you to work, and a couple of generations passed and that's all you knew. See, despite that, they still had runaway slaves every day of the week. They still got up and ran away. They want to make it look like it was all docile blacks. And when the Civil War broke out, there were a lot of blacks that fought on the north side. I heard there were some blacks that fought on the south side too, but I don't understand that. Also, you haven't heard about the Black Seminoles. They never defeated the Seminole Indians, by the way, because they couldn't get up in them swamps. And the Seminoles had slaves. They actually were slaves, so don't get it twisted, my black friends. They started off as slaves. They became part of the tribes, some black folks, and they moved with the tribe. The tribes actually went down to Mexico for a while during the war, Civil War, and they came back. Many of them came back. All right. But they never defeated the Seminole Nation. It was just it took too much manpower to even get up in them damn swamps where those Indians knew every goddamn nook and cranny up in there. Yeah. So that's the truth about it. A lot of Caucasian people were killed. You don't know that the first Pony Express riders were black. All you see is like a white guy riding a horse across the plains delivering the mail. The first cowboys were black. Okay, they had cowboy gunfighters just as much as they had Caucasian gunfighters. You don't hear about that stuff. That's the hidden part of history. That's what African American people are complaining about. Why don't you tell our story too? Like you don't hear about the black regiment that fought in the Civil War. You don't hear that shit. It takes Hollywood to, leak out like, the black airmen in World War II, type of movie, just so they can make some money off of it. If there's no money to be made, and if it doesn't, like Tariq was saying, if it doesn't offend the Caucasian audience, they'll release it. So they got to find ways of not offending Caucasian people, making them feel small, and get a way around it so that Caucasian people feel good to get these movies out there. Otherwise, they won't get out. But that's where the money is. Okay? That's where the money is. There are more Caucasian people in this country than, black folks. Black folks ain't going to pay a lot of money to go to some movies. That's just the way it is. So you got to go where the money is. We can't hate it, can't fight it. If we learn to stick together, we can do something about it. But until then, we're fucked. All right? Now, about us not being together, that's part of another program. It was deliberately caused that we do not get along. But it started way back in slavery. We came from different tribes. We didn't get along. Different tribes. Our race has a history of that. Not getting along with different people from different tribes. All that male testosterone. That's what I think it is. We just kind of got to battle shit out, I guess. But anyway, as many of you guys know, if you've done your research, you know about J. Edgar Hoover, the guy that was wearing women's underwear, that was running the FBI. I believe the reason why he hated black folks so much because of his own sexual deviancy. He had to find something to latch on to make himself feel good. Remember, it's about them feeling good about themselves, right? So they find something else to latch on to hate. And this country has been programmed since after slavery, before slavery, to really just hate black people. And a lot of the people that are like in their 60s that I know, they were raised that way. And they've had to learn to work with black people and get along with black people, like one of the guys I work out with. I could tell he's one of those types. But I don't work out with him anymore, actually. He's a client, I train him. But it's in their nature. It's the way they've been tooled and programmed also. So both sides should be pissed off at the powers that be for doing this shit to us. Both sides should be pissed off at Hollywood for giving, like, if you're a Caucasian, giving you bad information, making you think the wrong stuff. And I know that, when they show African Americans, they show the saggers, the toothless motherfuckers. If you study their actual research, and I believe it's coming out in Tariq's new movie, Hidden Colors 2, there are more white people on drugs than there are black people. That's a known fact. There are more white people that use welfare than black folks. Now, the racists like to argue, well, there's a higher percentage of blacks versus whites. Well, there are more whites. Okay. But also, if you look at, how my race was done since the 60s, you can see where we've been pushed into that area to rely on government handouts. The goal is to actually eliminate us. That's what the goal really is. Eventually get rid of us for good. And get rid of the lower end white folks too. So if you're not one of the rich, if you're not on the inside, they're going to get rid of you too. That's the goal of everything that's, in motion right now. And yes, Obama is a house Negro, but hey, he's in there. That's what I say. He might be able to do some good before he gets out and tell him fuck it and fuck you. Massa, fuck you. That's what I'm hoping he does. And I'm hoping that he tells those people that run the shit to stick it up the ass. But anyway, the last president tried to do that, they blew his head off. 1 week after that big speech he gave. And they actually know his head's blown off. Right in the most public, obscene way. Peace. Yeah, guys, I'm back. It's actually later in the evening now. I recorded the last video quite some time ago today. But I want to comment about people trying to get me to battle with people on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm just not interested anymore, fellas. I used to enjoy that stuff a long time ago when I was on So Suave and shit like that, and when I was dealing with that gate, Barry Kirkley. But I just don't have the time for it. So, running into that, and I can never remember that idiot's name. Rowdy, rude, wacky, tacky, stylistics dude. The guy that smokes weed with eyes like this. Like that, you know, you can barely see him. He smokes so much weed, his lids don't open anymore. Okay, I don't really care if he makes a video about me every day. And I said something to him about the weed smoking 2 years ago, and he's been emotional ever since, like a bitch. That's his prerogative. He could let it. He could actually learn from it and step his game up and his life up. You know, get off the streets, quit living in motels and doing shows out of his mama's bathroom and shit. He got his life together, got his life in order, but it's his choice. And then someone just posted the damn link for the video again on my channel, and I like looking at people's comments there. I guess he got into it with a kid named Aquesi100, and I guess that kid ate him up. Props him for investing his time in that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to invest my time in people who are down here. Okay, now this fella, he sells DVDs on the streets. I have my own businesses. I'm up here. That's the way it is. Now, he's a hustler, and he can teach you guys about hustling. If you want to learn about hustling, he's probably a great person to learn from. But he's got to stay on his own level, you know. He knows nothing about teaching men about how to be men, because he has become a great man himself. You know, if that's the quality that you want to run your life is down here, that's fine. You know, he appeals to African Americans, the dumb ones, and because he talks, he's in his 40s now, I understand, and he talks like he's 19, so they like that lingo, and they get all amped up. Say, you real, motherfucker, you real. Those type of black dudes. Those kind of black dudes don't like my channel. There's some idiot on his channels, I like reading the comments that said something about, I used to listen to Supreme until he got into Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand. I think I mentioned her movie. I read the book, or skimmed the book when I was a kid. I downloaded the movies. I have both of them, but I haven't really taken time to watch them yet. I understand it's about elitism. And if you listen to what I'm saying, that's the way the world is out there, about elitism. The good-looking people, they get the hottest babes. You know, the attractive guys, cute guys, whatever. And it's not based on size. It's based on, the guy's looks and his confidence, everything else that he has going for himself, It's a combination of things. So that's what I'm trying to build into you guys, so you can help level the playing field against these better-looking brothers out there. So you can get some hotter ass. But you got to get in the game with a starter hoe. My goal is get you guys in your first starter females in the next 30 days, all of you. I don't want not one creepy motherfucker sneaking around the channel anymore. Okay? I want to get all of you guys out there in the game. Period. With a starter girl. And so that way you can at least practice your skills of being around a woman. Because the game ain't going to begin until you get in the game. That's what I've come to realize. I've been giving advice on how to get a woman and stuff like that. And my advice is better after the guy has got his first chick. I'm trying to help guys get their first chick. And I'm spinning my wheels because some guys are fucked up in the head. And I don't have the tools to unfuck them. They're going to unfuck themselves. Like one fellow that was on he's my only failure, actually. I hate failing. I've actually had one failure. A guy who I haven't helped, wasn't able to help get laid. Even though I spent a lot of time with him. But the issues in his head were so deep. He's now apparently seeing a professional counselor. Great. But there's other guys out there that I want to reach. And I was looking at the photo of that Adam Lanza guy. Did you guys see how small his face was? He looked like a starving alien type of kid. But there are fellas out there who are like that, who are trying to get some hot chicks. And if you look like Adam Lanza, you ain't gonna get a hot chick. You know? You gotta get yourself a starter girl. So, to everyone to listen to me, if you don't have a woman right now, we gotta get you into some starter pussy. So you start learning to work with it. Alright? You gotta learn how to bone the shit out of her. How to talk to her. How to just be comfortable around a girl. Okay, right now, you guys who are not in the game, but you're outside studying the game and trying to practice the game. You don't know what it's like actually sitting down, having dinner with a woman, having a conversation, having sex. You don't feel comfortable. Okay? You don't even feel comfortable in your own skin. My goal is to get you there so you can start working on this stuff. So you can grow in your life. If you know anything about the chakra system, you see that your life really is set up like the series of chakras. The first one is about grounding. It's about your family, your environment, your survival. Okay? Second chakra deals with your sexual issues, your sexuality. The third chakra deals with your personal power, how you express yourself with your own personal power, your dominance, all that stuff. The fourth chakra is your heart chakra. Okay? That's where you learn to follow your heart. The third chakra, the next one up is the throat chakra. That's what I meant to say, throat chakra. And that's how you learn to speak your truth. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm speaking the truth to you. My truth, as I've learned how the game actually works. Okay? Then you go up to your third eye chakra. That's where you learn to develop like second sight, be able to see, like when I see someone's words, I can see the true meaning behind their words. Okay? And the final chakra is, of course, the crown chakra, which I'm not there. You know, I'm at the one right below it. Okay? And that's where you're more spiritual. So if you look at your life, many of you guys are stuck at the second chakra level. So your life energy is not flowing through your body. It's bottled up down there. That's why you get people who are like nerdy, who want a lot of power. Their shit's bottled up at the second chakra because they don't have any women to release all that shit. So they get this overhead blown ego stuff. They don't have power over women. That's because there's no even flow of energy here. It creates imbalance in your psychology of your mind, your ego. Your ego becomes over dominant. You want to just rule the world or do something crazy, like run and shoot up some babies. So when you compare your life to the chakra system, you can see the validity of that one. Many of you guys are stuck there, the second one. So that's why you don't have to be real personal power in life. And real personal power is where you learn to use it the right way, not egotistically. And I went through all that stuff. Okay? I was getting a lot of pussy, but my second chakra was out of fucking control. I was fucking way too many girls. Alright? So of course the energy coming through there was going to be fucked up, and it got to this one and fucked everything up. Now, when you unfucked yourself at the second chakra level, then you learn to express personal power. You learn to say, you know what, this isn't right for me. You'll be able to tell a girl, you know what, this is not working for me. Instead of like, stringing her along and lying to her and stuff like that, you say, hey, this ain't working for me. Or you say, hey, I'm seeing other chicks. You can let her see other dudes too, is what I was going to say. Next thing. But it doesn't bother you. Okay? Then you get up to the heart chakra, and you learn to express through your heart. And that's where a lot of people have trouble in the area of sex and making love. They're stuck down there at the first one. They haven't mastered the second one, and then they're trying to make love. That's why it comes out all fucked up. As let's say you got someone who's stuck at the third chakra level. It's personal power. These are those jealous motherfuckers. They go out because they're all bottled up here. They haven't mastered how to express themselves, through proper personal power over their environment. They go out and they shoot the girl, her new boyfriend, and they shoot themselves because they're fucked up there. Okay. When you get to the level of the heart chakra, everything starts to calm down a little bit because your energy starts becoming more rarefied as it rises up your body. Science knows that the body is a bioelectrical machine, pretty much. Now, they kind of try to show you that in the movie The Matrix. We do conduct electricity. There are points in the body that that energy can pool in, and those are your chakra points. It's simple. It's nothing pseudo-scientific or stupid or whatever. This shit's older than, I believe it's older than the Caucasian race. If the Caucasian race really truly is only 6,000, not 10,000. It goes way back in time. Okay? So, when you get to the heart chakra, you learn to follow your heart. Do what you love to do. That's where you find you really start to walk your path, your personal power, your personal mission in life. When you come out of that one, you start speaking it. Okay? You guys notice that I speak a lot now. I've always, when I've been online, I've been talking a lot. When I jumped in Toastmasters, I started winning all these goddamn competitions. In fact, I'll be right back. I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, I'm back. When I jumped into public speaking, now, I'm not trying to show off, but make a point. These are all first place winnings in public speaking, okay? This is a plaque. First place. First place. I won 13 competitions in a row before I was defeated. Went on to win division. Let me see which one's the oldest here. It doesn't matter. Division E. I joined a group called Toastmasters. A lot of people who don't do anything with their lives, they'll try to put that down or belittle accomplishments because they haven't done anything in their lives. They have no wins in their lives. Okay. But I got there and I was able to win and speak. I went on to speak at places like Borders bookstores. I've taught night courses. Okay. That's me speaking using my throat chakra. Again. Okay. Upside down. Sorry. Just so that you know, best speaker. First place. Now, I heard recently that you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. You can surround yourself with people that win in life, or you can surround yourself with losers. Losers that sit in the bathroom and smoke weed. Okay? You can surround yourself with winners or losers. It's your choice, fellas. Your choice. So, getting back onto what I've started talking about, I care not to involve myself in the YouTube nonsense. I've done my battles, my fighting, that kind of stuff. I have fun. I like debating people, but only people that are at least on my level. I don't want to go down to debate some loser out there. That's the way I feel. It's not worth my time. So it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a weak person. Obviously, I know how to speak. Again, obviously, I know how to speak. And when I was in college, I was on the debate team. I know how to debate. I know all the different styles of debating. Okay? I know how to cut someone up and tear them up. Because that's what I did on So Suave. I used to get little ego jollies out of it. It was for my ego. Now I put that nonsense to the side. Now I'm just focused on becoming a better teacher. Because I could use some improvement in that area. Okay? So, my goal, again, is to get you guys into some starter, let me just call it as I say it, starter hose. I've been trying to clean it up, make it more vanilla, but it's a starter hoe. You want to get yourself started. Some pussy. I'm going to release a class next month. In fact, I'm working on the PDF files right now on how to fuck the shit out of a girl. All of my secrets and techniques. I'm going to combine it with my chapter from my 7 steps on how to fuck. All right? If there's one thing I did good, I definitely did that well because I started reading books on it when I was in high school. And I got to practice on my first girlfriend, who was actually became my wife, my only wife I've been married to. Okay? I got to practice. And when I got out of that relationship, I was like a fucking machine. So having 7+ years of practice, I was ready. And that's what I want you guys to do, is get yourselves a starter hoe. Okay? You'll enrich her life, you'll enrich your life. I know, as I said in my lecture, my webinar, she's not going to be the hottest thing around, because you got to look at what level you're really at. And I know a lot of black guys don't like to hear that. And that's why they side with, that lower level dude. But that's just the truth. Truth of the matter. That's just the way it is. This is like life. I started talking about elitism. It's out there. You run into it. Like the guy that was chasing after the white girls on campus, and they called the cops. He ran into it. And I hope he actually learns something from that and grows from it. But it's up to him to actually let go of his ego and take it as a learning lesson to stop the bullshit, stop the nonsense. So I wish you guys a happy new year. This is New Year's Eve. And I hope you guys have a prosperous 2013. I'm certainly going to. So if I'm on that path, why don't you guys join me?